We are racing. A great start from the pole sitter, Alex Palou, with the immediate advantage coming down into turn one. McLaughlin has a look, but thinks better of it.
Not much of a break zone in turn one. They're going to be 2 and 3 wide through turn three of many different lanes. Look on the outside. That's one of the Meyer-Shank machines getting around Josef Newgarden. Everybody playing nice, but what happens when we've got to hit the brakes for the first time in 5?
3 McLaren teammates starting nose to tail. They fan out with Pato Award trying to catch up to the 2 of Nolan Siegel and Christian Lunard, the 3 orange cars, papaya cars going forward.
Lunard and Siegel almost making contact. Siegel will have the inside line and has the advantage coming down the hill through the quick chicane. I think there was some contact at the back just at the start there. One of the Premers looking very squirrely through those corners, but it's Alex Palou who has the immediate advantage over Scott McLaughlin. Colton Herta, Will Power, no change on the top 2 rows as everybody wiggles around through the fast sweepers.
So far, so clean, which is kind of the theme of IndyCar Racing 2025. Everybody in lockstep. You see Scott Dixon there at the back, but up front, it's already plain sailing for Palou, and a little bit of back and forth there. That's Louis Foster trying to mix it up with Rossi.
Alex Rossi doing a great job.
Big move from Jacob Abel.
Rossi pressing forward up front. Palou under pressure from McLaughlin.
And this is what Scott McLaughlin needs to do. The only 2 drivers in the top half of that top 10 who started on the softer rubber. Look at McLaughlin looking one way, looking the other, keeping the race leader under pressure. And that is what you love to see.
Already using the push to pass. It's about 50 to 60 extra horsepower. You've got 200 seconds to use it. McLaughlin all over the button right now, trying to get around Palou. Palou definitely using it in defense as well. You want to try to strike early if you can, Will.
And I'm just going to say, striking early, Alexander Rossi is already up 5 positions. He's the biggest mover, and he is right with the lead group. The number 20, that light blue and yellow Java House car, is going forward with aggression.
We pull back to Colton Herta, looking there at Will Power. Rena's VeeKay and the 3 McLarens line astern, half a second. The gap at the front of the field between Palou and McLaughlin as we get a look at them. And this so important for Scott McLaughlin, for the entire Penske enterprise, as the McLarens are going wheel to wheel. And Lunard wants to take advantage over his teammate, gets the move done into turn 1, and Siegel drops 1 place.
But I like the elbows out driving there from Siegel. He's not making it easy on his teammates. He's proven that he wants to step up, stand up in that seat, and prove that he belongs in that position. Keep it right on the back of Lunard now. Award chasing him down as there goes Rasmussen on the inside of Newgarden. That's the softs to the hards. You see the red sidewall. Oh, look at trying to come back on the outside. That red sidewall Firestone, that's the softer rubber. The black sidewall tire, that's the harder compound. A little bit slower, but should last a bit longer. And there is Alex Rossi, like you mentioned, on a charge right now.
Got another position.
Armstrong, yeah,
got another position on a Meyer-Shank car. Rossi making those soft compounds work really well right now. Let's take this close call for Josef Newgarden just a few corners ago. On board here with Rasmussen. Goes to the inside, locks the rear axle just a little bit. Newgarden over-unders and has the advantage and leaves Rasmussen with no room at the exit.
Look, it's hard racing. That's what you kind of expect here at Barber. We've seen a lot of this coming off of turn 5. Drivers just opening their hands up and not giving the guy on the outside a lot of room. Not the last time we'll see that today.
Alexander Rossi is the man on the move, currently sitting in 9th. Pato O'Ward ahead of him on the harder tire, squirreling around, trying to get the power down, trying to get the move done on his teammate. Lost a little bit of ground in the process, and look at Rossi. He is so hungry for this. He's got pace in hand.
And tires to help with that pace, and Pato O'Ward playing defense right now, just trying to hang on as Rossi continues his march forward. There they are, Rossi all over the back of O'Ward. That is going to be for 8th place if he can get by Pato.
The body language of that car and of that driver, he does not want to hang around. He's made up so many places already in these opening laps. As we look back from Pato O'Ward towards Alexander Rossi, who's up and on the inside and trying to nudge his nose ahead of the McLaren.
Trying to pull the Newgarden move there, and again, Rossi on those soft tires, Pato O'Ward on the harder tires. And Rossi's got to be a little bit careful, though. He's burned a lot more push to pass than a lot of guys around him. You see it up there on the graphic, 171 seconds left. So he's used about 29 seconds of his allotted 200, only the second highest usage so far in this race. You're going to need some more of that as that 90 laps goes down. So as tempting as it is, you do have to show some restraint.
I don't recall, guys, first few laps of Barber where guys are pressing this hard, this early on their cars. This is full send mode here. Absolutely max power, max fuel usage, and max tire usage. The Firestones are coming alive right now.
And I'll tell you what I like about that. That tells me that all these teams are committed to that three-stop strategy. No one's trying to string out a two-stop. These drivers aren't cruising around. They are pedal to the metal, full tilt, and that's what drivers like to do. That's what fans like to see.
Top 3 finishers last year all won it with a three-stop strategy. The numbers don't lie, Will. They know what they need to do to win today.
Palou still leads from McLaughlin, but that is your man on the move. Alexander Rossi taking the fight to his former team. Now in comes Pato O'Ward from the top 10. Jack, you're there and waiting.
Yeah, he's got a brand new set of those red soft tires. I thought he had a pretty nice first stint there. The radio communication with Pato was that things are going the way they're hoping to. Maybe they're going to find a little bit more pace and extract using these new tires.
Now guys, is it overcut or undercut territory here? What normally transpires at Barber when we're looking at that top 10 and looking at guys like Herta and Power? Do they want to be coming in after?
I think you want to be the overcut so that you can have track position. If you overcut, even if you're slow on the outlap, you can position yourself on the racing line on a track with a lot of turbulent air. Kyle Kirkwood down and away with prefab home wiring on board here. He just comes out in front of, who is that?
It's just ahead of Graham Rahal.
So Rahal had already pitted, so that's a battle on the same strategy. And this is the overcut, if you will, for these two guys. Kirkwood's on cold tires, but Graham Rahal cannot get around. But we think Kirkwood has a problem. Let's listen.
On the gearbox, I can't really go faster.
Copy that. Pit this lap. Pit.
Deep pit.
So that's why he stopped when he did.
I was going to say, he started on the softs, so that was a way too early stop for someone on the softs. Now we know why. Lunard in the pit lane right now. He started 7th on those hard tires. He's gone to the softs. So all those primary starters, the black sidewalled Firestones, they're coming in around now, and they can run reds the rest of the race. Your leaders, Palou, McLaughlin, they have to eventually take that pill and have the hards. But Kevin, what is the 7 team saying to Christian Lunard right now?
Well, it's more what I watch. Those are used softs, used sidewall with red on the side. That means he has 2 sticker sets left to use.
Could be very beneficial later on in this contest. Well, now that Lunard has come into pit, who reacts the first? Will Power. Who else reacts? It's all going to shake out over the next couple of laps, and Jack is ready for us and ready for Will Power.
Yeah, and Will was having some radio communication with the team saying that he felt like he had pace, he had speed. He just needed something to get in front of his teammate Scott McLaughlin, and he's just an absolute tiny bobble there. He's on the softer, used red tires. So let's see how this stint plays out for Will Power.
He gets out just ahead of Pato O'Ward is in as well. Comes Kyle Kirkwood. Where do they blend, though, in comparison to Lunard? There is Lunard coming through. Will go side by side with his teammate. Pato O'Ward just gets the jump on his teammate Lunard.
So he has track position, but he does not have tire temp. Lunard will be in full send mode. Looking to Lunard right here into turn 5. Here it comes.
Up the inside on his teammate, gets his elbows out and says thank you very much, Pato, who will try to fight it back on the run down and underneath the bridge.
Pato O'Ward might try to come back on him, but tire temp's still an issue for Pato O'Ward. He'll need another lap until his Firestones are ready to go. Good battle, but it shows you that overcut. O'Ward has the track position, but tries to hang on. That's what makes Barber so fun. You've got that turn 5. Meanwhile, Scott McLaughlin comes to pit lane from 3rd. Georgia, Good Ranchers coming to you.
Absolutely, the Good Rangers, number 3. The Thirsty Threes pull to the attention of his crew. They're going to give him some front wing, put those sticker reds on, leave everything the same, and he's dabbing away.
So out comes McLaughlin once again. Keep your eyes on that blend line. Look for those McLarens. Look for his teammate, Will Power. He's got it.
Nice
And
move on
Lunard.
Jacob Abel from Scott McLaughlin.
Lunard's got ahead of Power. There he is in the background of that picture. So McLaughlin gets out ahead of all of them, but Lunard, unbeknownst and unseen by us, ahead of Will Power on track.
Lunard makes quick work of Jacob Abel in the 51 there. Will Power will try to follow suit. Lunard knows he needs to make the pace work right now before Colton Herta, VeeKay, Marcus Armstrong all make their next stops.
Well, with the pace advantage he had on those tires already up to temperature, both over his teammate Pato O'Ward and over Will Power, will he be able to take a bite out of Scott McLaughlin? He's reeling him in, he's catching him up, he's getting ever closer.
It just shows you the advantage of those hot tires, because look how far back Pato is. Now is he going to try to lunge down the inside of 17? McLaughlin defensive going in, but he's going around the outside, inside of 17 for Lunard. Great pass.
That is gorgeous from Christian Lunard. What a drive from this young man who has impressed so much time and again, race after race in 2025, taking this team, leading it with absolute conviction. Lunard, one of, if not the most impressive driver of these opening races, does it again. Beautiful.
Demonstrating exactly why McLaren went to the market, the open driver market, and bought Christian Lunard on a big new contract, and he is delivering. He just passed the car that was running straight up third, and he just said, see ya.
I love that. I love that confidence.
I'm not usually a fan of drivers coming on the radio after a good pass to say how well they've done, but you know what? That one was earned. That was great.
Let's take a look at that again, courtesy of Pods with the big move. Look at this, guys. Looking at the outside, has the outside line, switches it to the inside. That was clinical.
As soon as McLaughlin took that slightly defensive line, driver's right, he was committed to it. And to have that amount of momentum at the apex, but on the outside, he was so committed to that move so early. I love that decisiveness.
Those 2 laps from Christian Lunard, knowing that he had the tire advantage, knowing he had to make every move work and every move stick. That's 3 positions in 2 laps, each one precise, perfect, absolutely magnificent. What a drive. What a driver he is proving to be in 2025.
And that should put Christian Lunard on pace to give Colton Herta a little bit of a headache when Colton makes his next stop. Right now they are separated by exactly 30 seconds, and just as we say it, here comes the Gainbridge driver. Colton needs his team to deliver right now. The 26 boys in strong podium contention, they're coming to Kevin Lee.
VeeKay is going to a used set of the softs. That means he still has a sticker set to go. He's a player for the podium, Georgia.
Herta is also putting on a used set of reds. This is an important pit stop for the team if they want to keep their position.
Oh, no!
Not again. And it's a stall for Colton Herta as he tried to get away. I tell you, if he didn't have bad luck, he'd have no luck at all.
There goes Lunard, there goes McLaughlin, here comes Will Power, there's Pato O'Ward. Colton Herta lost 3 positions there, maybe 4.
And another.
Oh,
man.
Oh, my goodness.
Kiss the podium goodbye, but now it's VeeKay on cold tires defending against Power. He's so good around here. Both of these drivers so good around here. Renus elbows out, not letting Power get the jump.
And here comes Pato O'Ward up on the inside of Will Power. It's a fight between the 3 of them, and VeeKay hanging on the cold tires.
Best thing that could have happened to VeeKay was Pato O'Ward getting the gloves out and going to battle with Will Power right there. It gave VeeKay some critical breathing room. VeeKay almost lost it.
Wow. Sideways as Palou comes in. Alex Palou, you see in the top screen there. Beautiful, perfect stop from him.
Did you see how sideways VeeKay, the rears were absolutely on fire. He is going for it.
Mirrors full of the Penske as Pato O'Ward gets a little sideways and a little squirrely too. It is getting exciting and frantic here in Alabama, and somehow VeeKay still holds on.
What an outlap for the young Dutch driver for Dalecoin Racing. It's not over. He still has Will Power breathing down his neck, but on the cold tires, He survived that first lap. That was impressive driving under immense pressure from a multi-time winner here at Barber.
And as things stand right now for Rinus VeeKay, he's just on the outside of a podium looking in. It will be P4 when it all starts to stretch out, but Will Power will have something to say about that. Of the race, Armstrong and Rosenquist. We were talking to Mike Shank earlier today.
Can't get the fuel unplugged for Armstrong. He lost about 4 or 5 seconds as the fueler was stuck. Watch for the blend. Alexander Rossi is probably who we're looking for in terms of, and he goes flying by. So that's a big penalty for the 66 with the fuel probe.
And he now has Santina Ferrucci up the inside. Wonderful move from Ferrucci, who's really been taking it to Colton Herta, who has looked at 6s and 7s since he came out of the pits, having had that terrible pit stop that once again dropped him down the order. He's been passed first by Alexander Rossi and now does have Ferrucci all over the back of him.
Look at the fueler here. He's pulling, he cannot get the probe released. And finally, it comes free. And that probably cost Armstrong 3 or 4 spots. It's a lot like Colton Herta, who had an issue of a different kind, stalling on pit lane. And look at Armstrong wrestle his car.
Bucket loads, armfuls of opposite lock there as Newgarden now tries to have a look at the inside of him. Nolan Siegel behind him, 2, 3, line astern through the final corners. This, Newgarden's favorite overtaking opportunity of the track.
And everybody knows it, so they
defend. Here it comes. No, I thought Newgarden was going to send it just like Lunard did.
Big defensive move. Armstrong kind of knew that was a possibility. Turned into 17 from the middle, but now Siegel looking.
I love it.
Not going to get it done into turn 1. These three still lockstep through turn 2, through turn 3.
This is where the fun begins. Josef Newgarden now having another look up the inside, but he's not quite close enough and aware all the time that any small mistake from him will allow Nolan Siegel through, who's having an impressive day out there.
Great job by Marcus Armstrong on the harder compound tire with less grip and cold temperatures to fight and stay ahead of Newgarden on the softer compound and now find the pace to hold position. He must be so frustrated, Armstrong, after what just happened on pit lane.
We talk about those incredible laps from Christian Lunard earlier on in the race. Look what it's done to his push to pass, down to 79 seconds. Everyone around him with 100 or more to burn. Palou still consummate ease with which he's led this race. 126 seconds, a push to pass remain, and Newgarden still can't find a way through.
He keeps thinking about it, and then every time he's got to defend a little bit on Nolan Siegel down the front straightaway.
And this guy right now has been passing cars like it's his job. Plus 13 on the day, biggest mover. We said, I mean, if there's someone that can salvage a good result from a bad qualifying, it's this guy.
You know, we spent the first 4 or 5 laps celebrating Alexander Rossi as the biggest mover. He was up, I think, 6 spots at the time. But so Dixon-like to quietly and without any spectacle pick off 13 cars since the start. This is what this guy does. Remember, no yellows.
Yeah.
Nothing to help him on timely yellows. It's been an all-green race. He's done it on racecraft and speed.
And not on an alternate strategy either, as we so often see him pull off these amazing last to first kind of strategy results. Now, O'Ward is the first to pull the pin and make his stop. 64 of 90. The McLaren driver brings it in from 6th place. Jack down there on pit lane.
A huge pit stop for the 5 here. I don't know if you guys have noticed, he doesn't have that much push to pass left. That was the biggest conversation between him and the stand, was push to pass management. Brand new tyres on for Power Award to finish this race.
18 laps to go on a very physical race. Flat out running. We've had no yellows. This is when you start to feel it from inside the cockpit. The neck is sore, the grip, your hands, your forearms, your shoulders, everything's starting to hurt.
Check this out, James. We'll see an onboard replay here for Santino Ferrucci in exactly this moment 1 lap ago. Let's watch and listen.
And that's what I'm saying. The steering wheel's loaded up. When it has little issues, you're starting to fatigue. It's harder to catch those moments when you're at this stage of an all-green race.
Christian Lunard really starting to get fierce, and aggressive. Looking to the high side of Kiffin Simpson. That is close, but he makes it work.
That's a nice move from Christian Lunard. Needs to make these moves happen, needs to make them stick. McLaughlin is cutting that gap down. It's just 3 seconds now between the two of them, and he now has to try and pass Marcus Ericsson, whose car is injured. That right front part of the front wing dragging along the ground, slowing him up.
And you saw Christian Lunard having to use push to pass to make that move. That's one of the things that's so frustrating as a driver, is having to burn push to pass on a lap down car. But as Kevin mentioned, the rules in IndyCar, unless you're a lap down to the entire field, you do not get a command blue, and you are entitled to race for your bit of the racetrack. But just to highlight how well Christian's done since switching to McLaren in that 7 car. McLaren took over this team back in 2020. In 81 starts, since then, the car between 20 and 2024, that car's had 4 podiums in 4 races. He's about to get his 3rd podium if things finish as they are going currently. So the rate at which he has gotten on top of this program, so impressive. Lunard will move up to 2nd in the championship should they finish as they run right now.
Meanwhile, as Lunard backs up to Scott McLaughlin, 6 laps to go. It's not impossible for McLaughlin to catch this group and start to back up to VeeKay, who is now less than 4 seconds off of the number 3 Team Penske car.
And Lunard just blasted some push to pass as he goes again now to try and get past Marcus Ericsson. McLaughlin will be smiling at this as Lunard's push to pass is depleted and McLaughlin still uses none. 6 laps to go. If Scott can start making his way through, Lunard is wasting all of this trying to get past Marcus Ericsson, who is defending his place on the lead lap. Now he makes the move. Now he gets it past, and boy did he ever need to do that, because McLaughlin was coming fast on a day where we have had 3 pit stops for everybody. This race normally a decision to make between, do we try and conserve Shell 100% renewable fuel, or do we blast all out and take 3 stops? Today everybody taking that decision to blast it and push with everything they've got on every lap.
So Marcus Ericsson did still 1:12.2 lap time. And I'm looking at VeeKay, a 1:10. So VeeKay is 2 seconds faster than Ericsson. Why is that important? Because if McLaughlin gets stacked up, VeeKay will have a chance to make the podium today.
Absolutely huge. With all of that and McLaughlin catching Lunard, I had completely lost sight of where VeeKay was, and he is just 3 seconds behind McLaughlin, as McLaughlin was 3 seconds behind Lunard. The difference, when we get to see him, is how many cars will there be between McLaughlin and VeeKay. From the looks of it, it's just the 90 car of Callum Ilott. Alex Palou still leads, 16 seconds the gap to Christian Lunard. He has done everything today perfectly. This guy is coming for Scott McLaughlin and a potential podium. And guys, I cannot overstate how important, how meaningful, how impressive that would be. He's taken the fight to a Penske in a Dale Coyne, a team with limited resources, limited budget, a driver who didn't even have a seat with a couple of weeks to go until the season started.
And that's just it. I mean, you think about the difference in preseason preparation of a driver like McLaughlin and Team Penske, and then all of a sudden at the last second, to your point, Will, VeeKay gets his opportunity and has to scramble to get caught up with a new team, new engine manufacturer, and he is delivering.
Guys, he's not just putting the fight to a Penske, he shipped him by 10 seconds. I mean, he is just, and that's after a botched stop. He had 3 or 4 seconds in hand before that stop brought Will right back to his gearbox. So an absolutely incredible run.
And there they are in the same shot.
You think he did that to Will Power, a 2-time champion with 44 wins under his belt? That's no chump. That's Will Power that he's just gapped by 10 seconds in a Dale Coyne. VeeKay having one of his day of days in the NTT INDYCAR Series. What an impressive drive. Even if it's 4th at the flag. I say even if.
This would be big if he could get by right here. Callum Ilott swings wide. I thought VeeKay might get the clean air that he needs. He needs Callum Ilott to be just a little bit quicker right now to get in the mix.
Needs some help from Ilott.
Might get him here. He's setting him up really nice through turn 3. Eilert gets way wide. VeeKay with a great run on the button, probably right here as they come to turn 5.
He is on the button, moves to the inside. Will break as late as he dare.
It's on. McLaughlin's going to have trouble. This is good stuff.
Here we go. 3 to go. That's McLaughlin. That's VeeKay. That is the gap. That is all that is in it. It is just over a second.
Not for long, because McLaughlin has a bunch of dirty air in front, and I just don't know that he has the same pace that he's had the last couple of years. What's changed? The hybrid system. A little heavier race car at the back, and VeeKay and Dale Coyne Racing have found the setup to make it work. On board here with Scotty Mack as he tries to hang on with 2 to go.
And as frantic as this battle is for the final podium spots, you know, up front, Palou so far in front. He could be wrapped up on his couch in a Snuggie sipping a tea. He is just absolutely cruising on a Sunday drive right now. Meanwhile, all hectic back in the throes of second and third, trying to sort out these podium positions. And can VeeKay enter the conversation? Try to get himself some hardware today.
Look at the body language of that Dale Coyne Racing car of Rinus VeeKay. It has purpose and intent. VeeKay can smell that podium. 2 to go. 1.5 when they get through the museum complex.
And
there's the traffic.
Look at the seconds remaining. McLaughlin critically 10-second advantage for that extra 50 horsepower, and they're both on the button on the backstretch.
VeeKay has 1.5 laps to make the move, but Alex Palou is already on his final lap here at Barber Motorsports Park. Guys, he has been perfect.
Again, as he does, James, race after race, and Chip told us at the second race of this season, watch out, he's only getting better. And where we think he found improvement, outright 1-lap pace, just dominant this weekend.
I didn't believe him, but I mean, it's hard to deny what's happening here, coming to 3 wins in 4 races. Unreal.
As he comes to the Advanced Auto Parts checkered flag on the track where he won his first IndyCar race in his very first race with Chip Ganassi Racing, and wrote the first chapter of a book that has come to define the modern era of IndyCar. Mr. Perfect, Alex Palou will do it again. Untouchable, undeniable, inevitable. It's gonna be 3 wins from the opening 4 races for Alex Palou.
What a car.
Oh, the jack's by the camera. Yeah.
Well, no leg slap required. A lot of cheers and a lot of enjoyment and some bubbles to follow for Alex Palou for the HRC liveried number 10 car this weekend. And he just keeps getting better. He's won from outside the top 5. He's won from inside the top 3. Now he's won from pole position. And Georgia, as you can see, is down there. Christian just goes up to the boys on the team at McLaren to celebrate with them, and he has every right to be delighted with what was another phenomenal drive. Georgia, though, is standing by with our race winner.
16.26 seconds. That is what you paced this field by. How were you and this team able to pull off what seemed like the perfect day?
It was a perfect day. I would say a perfect weekend. First time we're rocking that number 10 HRC livery. I'm super proud of everybody that has been working on the 10 car and Chip Ganassi Racing and HRC as well. Let's go,
nice
man.
job, man. Awesome.
Thank you.
Man.
Yeah, honestly, it's been just a perfect day. The car was amazing, super fast, and I just had a ton of fun. Yeah, I was a bit lonely there, but I loved it. It was an amazing day.
4 years ago, you got your first win with CGR right here. How special is this win, doing it 4 years later with the same team?
It's amazing. I mean, we've always been really good here. I love this place. Like, every single lap here just feels amazing in an Indy car. So yeah, it's going to be extra special from now on.
Alex Palou and Chip Ganassi Racing victorious here at Barber Motorsports Park.
Up next is the Sanzio Grand Prix, Saturday, May 10th at 4:30 p.m. Eastern on Fox.